Welcome to East by West Farms, where we grow what we eat and we eat what we grow. In this video, we're gonna winterize the farm. So we had a dry and hot summer, a very short and somewhat wet fall of 2 or 3 weeks, and now winter's coming. Our falls here are usually very short, and it kind of changes from hot to cold. So tonight we have a freeze warning. It's supposed to go down to below -2 degrees centigrade, which is 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Many of our plants will probably not survive it. We always hope they will. And we need to take care of our livestock and provide them enough shelter. So I've got a bunch of things to do. I have to get the tarp on the greenhouse. Then I will harvest some of the peppers that we still have on the trees. I need to winterize the chicken coop and the duck run.
Two years ago, we bought a cheap greenhouse from Amazon, just to want to see how it will stand up in winter here, because we get a very strong wind. I would say that the greenhouse gets quite a beaten up by the wind, but it's still standing. The frame, most of the metal frame is almost broken, so we have to beef it up with a trellis that we built. The cover also have some damage. Some may say that, well, you got 2 years out of a cheap greenhouse and just get a new one. But we're trying to reduce the amount of waste, especially plastic waste, as much as possible. The way to do that is to repair and trying to extend the life of that. So that's what I'm doing now, is to trying to patch up the holes on the cover. What I use is, again, plastic. Unfortunately, since these days you cannot live without plastic, a glue gun, and some clear plastic bag that I saved to reuse. And then I just cut patches of the clear plastic bag and use the glue gun to patch up the cover. Hopefully this will have it last longer. I hope maybe more than this year, and I can continue doing this until it's just completely like a quilt. We'll see how long this will last, but I think for this winter, at least we will get another year of use of this cheap greenhouse.
The top of the greenhouse is on. The patch that hang hot glued on there are still holding up. We want to get the stuff inside the greenhouse through the next week, which is pretty cold. We've got freezing coming up tonight. We still have some peppers in the greenhouse. We've got some water spinach and a bunch of other things that I can't remember right now. So if we don't get too much frost this year, we might actually get some of the stuff over winter and have a head start next year when the weather gets warmer. The next step in winterizing the garden is to harvest all the peppers that haven't ripened yet. Peppers do not like freezing, so they're probably going to die. I have a bunch of green peppers that are not ripened yet, so I'm going to harvest them. I ripen the red peppers. Pepper plants per se are perennial, but in our climate they don't get through winter. Except one year we actually didn't have any freeze for a whole winter, and we got some pepper plants through the winter. I found some tomatoes as well. They're hiding here in the trellis, so I'm gonna harvest them. They're not gonna make it through the freeze. Here's another one. Next I will harvest the hyacinth beans. Those are beautiful flowers. They don't like any frost, so as soon as it hits freezing temperatures, they will just die back. The next thing is to winterize the duck run. The chickens have their chicken coop, and they've been spending pretty much half of the day up inside the coop. They didn't want to come out in the morning, so they're okay. Now the ducks are down here on the chicken run overnight, and they don't have an awful lot of shelter. The plan is to take these old feed bags, cut them up and staple them on the side. Ideally, I would be using cardboard. We don't have enough cardboard anymore. We used most of the cardboard boxes for the garden. It's a good way of reusing the feed bags. You might have noticed that I take the shiny side, put the shiny side towards the outside. Eventually these feed bags delaminate and the shiny side comes off and disintegrates. So I want to have this away from the chickens. We have two different sizes of feed bags, one 50 pounds, one 40 pounds. The 40-pound bags are of course a little bit shorter than the 50-pound, and they don't go all the way to the bottom of the chicken run. I put some hay down here in this little corner so that the ducks have a place to sit and stay dry at night. Now the chickens seem to like it already, so they seem to claim that part of the coop for themselves. Where do we get the hay from? We have in a previous video I showed you how we strip mow the property. We leave the hay in the mowed area. Our goal is to regrow the top layer of the soil. So I'm taking some of the hay that's lying out in the field and taking a little hay fork and put it in here. Eventually I think we will grow some Osage orange or Yopon hollies around the chicken coop so that it gets more sheltered from wind, and we have a more natural way of sheltering the ducks from too much wind. Ay, ay, ay. Oh.
Well, the weather forecast was right. We got some freeze last night, and you can see that all this summer crop, this peanuts plant, pretty much dead. It depends on whether we will have an extended cold period or if it's just a very short cold snap. These plants, their roots are probably still alive. So if just a short snap, they will bounce back. But if we have extended like 1 week of cold weather, then this will die down. So we have peanuts underneath, and also this produce quite good mulch to weather whatever that is going to sprout out. On this side, what our winter growth will look like, I can see we have some fava bean growing over there. I have peas over here and the cilantro's growth. Most of these are actually self-seeded. The challenge at Texas is that the weather is so unpredictable. So it's very difficult to plant, when to plant what. The lazy gardener method works pretty well. I throw a bunch of seeds in the garden, and the seeds will select whenever the weather condition is right for them, and then they will sprout and then give us year-round vegetable growth in the garden. You need to harvest your own seeds, otherwise the seed cost will be too much. In this video, we showed you how we prepare our garden for the winter, and we put the windbreakers to winterize the chicken coop so that the ducks have a cozy enclosure for the night. Even though it's winter, we have actually lots of things growing in the garden. We use the lazy gardener method. Most of the plants you see over here are self-seeded. That means our project of developing food forests that will regenerate by itself is well on its way, and it's getting better and better every year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West farms. Sorry, we seem to have some dark war going on in the background. And some like adults only activity going on with the ducks.